While a nation collectively holds its breath this weekend, there is a parallel universe of people who feel absolutely nothing about the game everyone calls the biggest of the year. Not the ones pretending to be different, not the ones chasing attention. I'm talking about people who genuinely feel blank. The noise, the hype, the countdowns, it all lands flat. And that detachment, it's more revealing than you think. Let's start here. Loving sports is not a built-in human setting. You weren't born wired to celebrate a touchdown. What happens instead is connection, tribe, identity. Fans bond with teams, with players, with stories. There's even a term for the rush people feel when their team wins, basking in reflected glory. Your brain rewards you for a victory you watched from your couch. But if you're indifferent, it can feel like watching everyone speak a language you were never taught. You see the emotion, you see the passion, but it doesn't translate. Why? Because brains aren't built the same. Some people crave intensity, loud crowds, sudden twists, emotional spikes. Others don't. Some nervous systems light up under pressure, others shut down. It's not arrogance when someone says, "I don't care." Sometimes it's just honesty. Their system isn't tuned for that frequency. Not broken, not superior, just different. I've sat in a packed living room during a championship game and felt completely out of sync. Everyone jumping, shouting, hugging, and me just checking the time. I remember thinking, am I missing something? Maybe not. Maybe it just wasn't meant for me. This taps into something older than football. Tribe. Humans evolved in groups, us versus them. That wiring is still there. Sports activates it perfectly, but not everyone plugs into that signal the same way. Some people find their tribe in a coding forum at 2 a.m., others in a book club, a gym, a niche online community. They're not antisocial, they've just chosen a different campfire. Then there's control. When you watch a game, you surrender influence. You can cheer, you can hope, you can wear the jersey, but you can't change the outcome. For some, that's the beauty of it, letting go. For others, it feels pointless. Why pour emotion into something you can't move an inch? Effort matters, agency matters. And let's talk about overstimulation. Life is already loud. Notifications, deadlines, traffic, group chats. For many people, the Super Bowl isn't an escape, it's another demand, another 3-hour blast of sound, lights, reactions. If you're sensitive to that kind of input, it's not fun, it's draining. I know people who leave those parties exhausted, needing a full day alone to recover, not because they're antisocial, because their system absorbs everything. Then there's uncertainty. Games thrive on it. That's the thrill. Anything can happen. But not everyone experiences uncertainty as excitement. For some, it's tension, low-level stress stretched over hours. Why willingly ride that wave for a result that won't change your actual life? Excitement for one person is anxiety for another. And we can't ignore the ritual, the ads, the halftime show, the themed snacks, the cultural pressure to care. When you don't feel it, that room full of cheering people can feel strangely isolating. You're physically there, but emotionally somewhere else, alone in a crowd. Sometimes, though, it's simpler than all of this. Sometimes someone just doesn't like football. We don't question it when someone dislikes coffee or horror movies, but say you're not into the biggest game of the year and suddenly you're the anomaly. That's strange. The disinterested person might be obsessed with chess strategies, space documentaries, or perfecting sourdough bread. Passion didn't skip them, it just chose a different outlet. And here's the uncomfortable part. Indifference often triggers defensiveness. When you reject the game, some fans feel like you're rejecting them, their tradition, their identity. That reaction tells you how deeply sports intertwines with belonging. So if you're in that parallel universe this weekend, there's nothing wrong with you. Maybe your nervous system prefers quiet. Maybe you invest where you have control. Maybe the noise exhausts you, or maybe you just don't care. Your attention is expensive. Spend it intentionally. And if you live for this weekend, that's real too. The rush, the unity, the shared scream when the score changes, that matters. We don't need identical passions to share the same world. But here's the question worth sitting with. When the noise fades and the stadium lights go dark, what actually holds your loyalty? Because belonging isn't about shouting at the same moment. It's about knowing why you're shouting at all.